Welcome to the Dad Code Podcast. This is DDS, where real fans come for real sports talk and no BS. We are your hosts, Blake Melton, Bradley Newberry, and Matthew Two-Tone Blue Parker. Parker, tell me what's going on today.
It's just so nice to be a Titans fan.
Yes, it is. It is.
It's a good day.
Before we get started, tell us about how was the stadium with Kansas City?
Kansas City, I said Buffalo fans are the worst. Kansas City fans may be the worst. While Buffalo fans are trash, Kansas City fans just don't care about their team. Because there were more Kansas City fans in that stadium than there were Buffalo fans, but I heard nothing. Not even before the game when you were still riled up, and in the third quarter, it looked like our aisles were bleeding from all the red walking down the sides. It was great.
Oh,
man,
nice.
Gosh. We appreciate you taking the time to listen to our NFL picks this week. We're going to start with the hometown Tennessee Titans. They're on the road. The 5-2 Titans, the leaders in the AFC South, on the road against number 2 in the AFC South. 3-4 Indianapolis Colts, coming off of a big, wet, nasty road win in San Francisco. This is the get over the hump game. This is the one that you have to put the division away, Parker.
It is. And a lot like it was going into the Jets game. I warned that might happen. This one scares me even more than the Jets game. It's the number 1 on the schedule that scares me. Right now, the Titans are in their 4-game stretch, the hardest stretch in all season. And I remember thinking a few games ago, if they come out 2-2, yes. Well, they beat 2 of these teams, and now they've got Indy. This is their chance to sweep Indy. We've only swept Indy 2 times. First one was the first year the AFC South was created, and the second was the year Andrew Luck was out. This game is terrifying.
Yeah, as Bradley mentioned, it's 100%. It's a get over the hump game. I mean, this is the game that the Titans have in the past just never been able to seem to win. It's been this. I know we said that before when we played Indy the first time. This is an opportunity to put your foot on the throat of whatever. This is actually it right now. Yep. This is one of the most, if not the most important game of the year for them, because this puts them so far ahead of everybody else that it becomes, if you start stringing some of these wins together, the games down the road against, teams like Jacksonville, if they start getting better, it doesn't become as imperative to beat a team that, like Bradley would call an upstart team. That one of those teams that could sneak up on you, it's less relevant at that point.
I'll say it. If Tennessee wins this game, the AFC South is done before November. It's over.
Yeah.
It's just too big of a lead. Even if they get hurt and they start playing bad and all this stuff, they just have too big of a lead.
Yeah.
But if not, Indy's back 1 game out, and it's all over. It's back to the same old thing again.
I mean, because it really was just coming down to Tennessee and Indy anyway, right? So, I mean, if they take care of business here, I mean, like you're saying, I think the AFC South is wrapped up at that point.
Yeah. Derrick Henry failed to reach 100 yards last week against what I think is a miserable Kansas City Chiefs defense. I think they're up against a little bit of better defense here. Leonard, the linebacker, he's going to be flying all over the place. Maniac, as you said. Yeah. Most of us, whenever you think about this type of game, Tennessee Colts, the first name you think of is Derrick Henry.
Sure.
But I will remind everyone that the Colts have a pretty good running back as well, Jonathan Taylor.
He is. He's actually second in the lead in rushing, which is only 300 yards behind Derrick Henry.
Jeez, listen to that stat.
Yeah, he's also out touched him by 60 touches. But Jonathan Taylor is playing really well. Wentz is playing well. Pittman looks like the Indy version of A.J. Brown right now. He's got that size. And this is going to be also the first game. Indy, we remember talking in the preview show how good this offensive line could be. This is the first game that elite line has been healthy, whatever that is in the NFL this week, but that they're all going to be playing together. We could even see T.Y. Hilton out there stretching the field. And Wentz, again, has looked better. This game, again, it's scary.
Yeah, don't forget about Mo Alley Cox. Remember that name too. Tight end. He was a basketball player, converted tight end. If you cover everything else up, 30 yards down the field, here comes Mo Alley.
Mo Alley, I just like saying his name.
Mo Alley.
Mo Alley.
Well, and the Titans are traditionally awful against tight ends. And hopefully...
Or Hines. We've seen Hines come out of the backfield with a little screen pass for 20 yards.
I had this conversation with your brother earlier today. Titans fans think Hines is like the best running back in the league.
He's not.
Because we see him and he always destroys us. Yeah. But if you watch him against any other team in the league,
nothing.
No
factor.
Nothing. But somehow for the Titans, I don't understand why. I don't know. But it happens every single game. Golly, it's going to be a tough one. And if this one to me is Titans go and they win this game. And my preseason Super Bowl picks is looking really good because this is a different team. They're getting healthy. If they go and they just beat down Indy, I'm going to come in here on Tuesday and we're going to talk. I'm going to be giddy like a little schoolgirl. But if they go up there and they pull a Titans and they do the thing that they do with the Jets and they just suck and they lose, they're still on that second tier and they've just got another step to do.
Are the injuries going to just be too much here? I mean, this is already a bad secondary, but when you add bad secondary with injuries, do they have enough to cover everything that Indy's going to run out there?
I don't know. I mean, they didn't look too bad last week. Did we turn a corner? We're getting our best, potentially, we're getting our best cover linebacker back in Jayon Brown, which is one of the things that we've really been missing. You know, David Long has seriously upped his game in the last 2 or 3 weeks. He's become a man possessed. So
what about Landry getting that pressure?
Landry and Autry are finally starting to get some push and getting some pressure on the quarterbacks. But still, you have to always be concerned with the Titans secondary, in my opinion. But I'm just going to have to wait. We're all going to have to wait and see. Really, I mean, I'm convinced that we could be seeing something turn here as of last week because defenses tend to be a little bit more streaky, in my opinion. You know, once they get a little confidence, they start to see things happen in front of them, and they get a little bit of confidence behind the system that they're working. I mean, things can start to fall into place for them, and particularly if this Titans team on the defensive side starts to get a little bit more healthy. I'm really kind of excited to see how what would happen.
Well, they were missing this last game like 5 cornerbacks, and we talked about it in the preview show last week. The key to this defense was the defensive line was finally getting healthy.
Yep.
Bud Dupree, Autry, obviously Harold Landry, and Big Jeff in there. They, against the Kansas City Chiefs and Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, with me playing cornerback, it didn't matter because they couldn't get it out. I mean, they absolutely pressured him, and it was fantastic. And Wentz is still a little hurt. We just got to get through that offensive line. And Dupree last week got a sack and had a lot of pressure. He only played 40% of the snaps because he's still getting healthy off that injury last year. That's only going to keep getting better. I think the key to this game is the pressure with the 4 up front, because then you can use the 7 in the back to defend.
Yeah, I mean, if you get pressure up front, it takes pressure off the guys in the back, like you said. And if you've got Jayon Brown back, being able to cover corner or cover wide receivers and running backs better, you got David Long. You know, hopefully he's still in there playing the way he's been playing. I mean, good grief, that there's a lot of possibilities for positive things to happen on the defensive side if that's the case.
And we touched on David Long, but my God, like that guy is a beast. I mean,
he's everywhere.
He's unbelievable. He's leading the team in tackles. It's not even close.
I mean, what were they? I can't even remember the stat. I'm bumbling over myself. But it was some kind of crazy stat of how many tackles he'd had in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago he had 14.
Yeah.
And last week he had 8, which was tied for the lead on the team.
It's unbelievable.
All right. I'm going to make an argument for Indy for just a second.
Yeah, you go for
it. Wins, you've mentioned it, is more healthy. He's maybe at 1 leg or 1 ankle instead of 0 ankles. Wentz is getting healthy. T.Y. Hilton loves playing against the Titans. He's back healthy. The offensive line, I know, is better than the Chiefs. They're getting healthy with Nelson back. Xavier Rhodes is back and healthy in the defensive backfield for the Colts. So I think this team, too, is starting to ramp up. And I just from a Titans fan's perspective, you don't want to slip up and let the Colts get back to 500 at 4-4. That'll bring the Titans down to 5-3 with 1 game difference, and the Colts having that win over the Titans. This as scary as it can be, because a lot of us are like, why are the Colts a favorite here?
I think it's history. I think it's all history at this point.
Trap.
I mean, it's absolutely a trap. I mean, I still, like we're talking about, this is one of the most, if not the most important game for the Titans up to this point, and maybe until they get to the playoffs.
Yeah, it's massive. If I were not a homer, which I obviously am, if I was Bradley down there, I would be picking Indy in this game.
Well, then I'll start. I think that this is we have a Titans team coming off of humongous wins over Buffalo, the Chiefs. I think that they are too injured. I don't see it. I just don't see it. I'm seeing the home team coming out here. Maybe it's because I don't want the AFC South to be over yet as well. Mm-hmm. I think that the Colts win in a field goal game, Blake, 30-27.
It's so difficult because everything why I would pick the other team is there. I mean, Titans had 2 big wins in 6 games. They're playing a team that theoretically they should beat. Our next game is against the Rams in LA on prime time. Like, this is a letdown spot if there ever was one. Vegas is picking them. I'm here looking at it right now. Only 36% of the people are betting on the Colts, but it's 7% of the money. So the people that have the money and know what they're doing are betting on them. But I think this Titans team is different, and I'm going to put my money with that. A.J. Brown is healthy. Julio's getting more healthy. They found a tight end. It's not Ferkser. It's McCole Pruitt. Mm-hmm. Derrick Henry is Derrick Henry, and I heard constantly how the Chiefs stopped Derrick Henry last week. He had over 80 yards rushing.
They didn't stop him.
No,
he was still the 8th highest rushing amount in the league.
What did he have, like 18 touches too?
They didn't stop
it wasn't nearly as many as he usually gets.
I just think that I want to see Derrick Henry run into the end zone, looking up at the board, looking at himself like Eddie George in the playoffs. So I want to beat down here. I'm going with the Titans, and I'm going to go that they pull this out 27-21. I just don't think this offense can be stopped.
I am in the same boat with you there on the offense. I think that there's just too many offensive weapons. I think that this Titans group really relishes being the underdog and being the team that everybody wants to hate on. And I feel like going into Indy, there's all this history there. And I think this is the type of team in this Titans team that's going to go in there and is just going to shit all over everybody. Okay. They are going to go over and they are just going to basically walk out of the stadium at the end of the game, double burden everybody, saying, y'all can go fuck yourself, and we'll see y'all next year.
I mean, if they win the game, I guess they have the right to do all of that.
Titans, 24. Colts, 10.
Man, I would be happy.
10 points. Well, God, I would have laughed if you would have predicted 3.
It's true.
I mean, God, the Titans had more turnovers against than the Chiefs had points.
Yeah. Derrick Henry threw for more passing touchdowns than Patrick Mahomes.
How about that for a stat?
I would have laughed at that too. Good Lord. All right. Indy, Tennessee. Not surprised by that. We're going to go out west. The Jacksonville Jaguars, coming off of a win and a bye, are having to make the long trip to Seattle. 2-5 Seattle, not a very good team here. They will still be without Russell Wilson, Geno Smith, and company. We know that this is a loud stadium, right? We also know Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer, their first visit ever in Seattle. Just something about these teams going west I don't like. So my hopes aren't really high on this game.
Well, so this is my thing about Seattle. About the only thing they have going for them are their uniforms and that big fucking stadium. That's the only thing that they got is loud fans and loud jerseys. I don't think that this is the same Seattle team that we're used to seeing in the past. You know, looking at their current standings when it comes to their offensive production and their defensive production. They rank near the bottom in both. So we also have a trending Jacksonville team coming in there. A young quarterback who I think is starting to get a little bit pissed off, not because he is ready to take that next step in his career.
I think he's taking it.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I'll share this with you.
I feel like he's in the process of it.
He's definitely taking.
Not just taking the next step, taking charge of the team.
Listen to this. So weeks 1 through 3, he had a completion percentage of 54.2, which was 34th somehow out of 32. In weeks 4 through 6, 66.3%.
Yeah.
So that's a big
It's a different team.
His QBR went from the first 3 weeks, it was 60.3. Weeks 4 through 6, 93.8.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence is
that's why I feel like it's so important for Tennessee to go ahead and take care of business in Indy, because with Jacksonville trending the way they are, it scares me later in the year for that to have to, if it ever came down to beating Jacksonville to be able to win the AFC South, that scares me.
Well, this is not the year for the Jags, but this is the building year to hopefully spring forward into next year. But I still don't trust this coaching staff for the Jags, but I love the quarterback.
That is what's holding me on to all this. You're keeping me holding on, particularly in this game. I feel like this is a statement game for Trevor Lawrence. I think this is his opportunity to take charge of things and take the whole team and say, jump right here on this back. I got you.
Yeah, and we talk about them having that stadium and the fans. What are they, 2-5?
2-5 Seattle.
Well, they're 2-2 away because they're 0-3 at home. They haven't won a game at home. And I have a note. I was writing some notes down. I literally have one line that just says, Geno Smith is bad.
Yeah. I have Geno with question mark. I'm like,
Jacksonville's coming off a bye. Usually I would think that that's a big time like uptick with this coaching staff. I don't know if that matters. That matters not. Seattle is bad without Russ. It shows how good Russell Wilson is, because this team is like an 11-win, 12-win team with Russell Wilson. Without Russell Wilson, they are a bottom 5 team.
Yeah, clearly. It makes you realize that, shouldn't Russell Wilson be considered as an MVP almost every year?
And that's the old stat. You know how many Russell Wilson MVP votes he's gotten in his career? 0. Never.
Unbelievable.
I mean, if this isn't...
I hadn't missed a game until...
Golly.
Never have received one. And something we've been talking about, man, James Robinson's on fire. Seattle's can stop the run a little bit, so I think that's kind of where this game is. I know we talked about the quarterback, but I think that's a big thing on that. I've got a fun stat for you. Well, you know what? I'll save that. Go ahead. But I just think that Geno, there's matchups in this. Like, they have advantages with against Jacksonville secondary with DK Metcalf out there. But can Geno get on the balls? Question.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. I mean, they've got they're going against a Jaguars secondary that is dreadful. And when you talk about DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and others, it scares me. But then I have to remember to step back and think. Geno Smith.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love for my defensive line and linebackers to get some pressure here. I mean, it's been a bugaboo for the Jags for a while. I'd love it to be kind of like a statement game from Josh Allen. Maybe get a sack and a half or 2 sacks. Miles Jack is coming off injury this week and the bye week. But I don't have much faith in the secondary. Shaquille Griffin's coming back to Seattle where he started his career. I'm sure that he'll, for the most part, be matched up on the bigger body Metcalf, but I don't know. To me, Jaguar fan, yes, they're on the uptick, but I'm not feeling it, Blake. I'm not feeling it going out west.
All right, well, I'm going to start us off.
All right.
Y'all ready for this? This is going to be the statement game. This is going to be the first of many steps along his career that he's going to take to becoming a better quarterback. This is going to be the game where Trevor Lawrence carries his team. It's going to be a 20-17 game in favor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
What score did you go with there? 27-17?
2017.
2017. So the last time Jacksonville won back-to-back games. Let me take you back.
This is going to be sad.
I'll take you back. It was 2 years ago this week.
Oh, boy.
Oh, a little trick or treat magic.
Halloween 2019. It was October 27th, week 8. This is week 8, 2 years later, against a bad Seattle team. Jacksonville wins 21-17.
Whoa. All right.
Coincidence? I think not.
This is going to sound so weird.
Oh, did we convince you?
I mean, I literally came into this show with no notes at all.
I didn't write down the teams. I didn't want you to see it.
Making the West Coast trip, young team. I believe that the treat of this game is that Jacksonville could lead for the majority of the game. I think that they will be leading 21-20 with a 2-minute drive, and somehow, some way, Geno Smith gets a pass to DK Metcalf, and my guys just forget how to tackle for a minute. And the Seattle Seahawks kick a game-winning field goal, 23-21 over the Jags. I'm going Seattle.
What's some backwards?
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust it. I mean, prove me wrong. Go out to the West Coast and win a game. Win 2 games in a row. I mean, my eyes have barely even seen one win. So do it.
Hey, so far, Bradley's gotten both games wrong.
Yeah, it's weird.
Or have I gotten
know.
them both right?
No.
I don't think so.
Let's see. Next game, Dallas at Minnesota. This will be the Sunday night game on NBC. 5-1 Dallas at 3-3 Minnesota. Blake, the question is, how's Dak feeling?
I guess that is the question at the moment. I do not know. What is his injury status? I know he had the ankle thing going on.
His little calf,
Whatever.
his legs.
Yep. We don't really know yet, to be honest with you. He's expected to play, but they're gonna test him out. I mean, let's see if there's
calf injuries are just so funny because, they can lead to much worse stuff. But
he's had a week off.
Yeah,
right?
he's had a week off. So, I mean, I'm sure that he's done all kinds of crazy hypobaric, stuff and, sage burning and all kinds of stuff to try to hit everything he can do that he's done, I'm sure. I have confidence that Dallas is going to pretty much just come in and dominate their offense is just dominant at this point. First overall offense. And conversely, you're looking at Minnesota, and they're not that great on defense. Well, they're okay, I guess. They're 16th. They're kind of middle of the road, but not a very good rushing defense at 26th. So, I mean, this is an opportunity for Zeke and Pollard to kind of go out and go crazy.
Do you think we'll have some fun watching Jefferson matched up with Diggs?
Could be fun.
We're all waiting for the next Diggs pick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know, man. This is a team that continues not to get a ton. I don't hear a ton about them, but which is weird for a Dallas team. But I just feel like I think everybody's kind of waiting for them to just implode. But I feel pretty good about Dallas in this one.
I was just now looking up from the practice today, and Prescott came out. This is about an hour ago. Came out and said that Mike McCarthy came out and said he had good response to today's workout. Let's see, hold on, just thinking pop up. Good response to Wednesday's workout, and the team planned for him to do more rehab and individual work on Thursday. McCarthy said that there would be measured number of team reps as all continues to go well for the quarterback. So it sounds like he's playing, unless just something horrible happens.
Yeah, he'll be fine, I think.
So I have a really fun random stat. It means nothing whatsoever. It's just kind of fun. By the way, both teams are coming off a bye week.
They are.
And again, against the spread last year, the Cowboys started off 0-8.
They've covered everything this year.
This year, 6-0.
Yeah, they just pencil them in, pin them in. They're in.
And you just asked about Diggs, and this is a lot like my Iowa argument. Yeah, he's had an interception in every game plus one. Honestly, he's had one more interception than games played. He's running so hot. It's got to go the opposite way. It can't continue. It just cannot continue, and I looked into this. I don't have the exact numbers written down because I thought it was interesting. Blake brought up the defense, and I think their defense is actually better than what it is. They're ranked 16th, which is true, but it started off like ranked 28th the first 3 games. In the last few games, it's been ranked 3rd or 4th, so it's averaged out.
Kind of trending then.
So if you look at it more recently, they're one of the best defenses on 3rd down, one of the best defenses in the red zone. Their coach obviously is always going to stress defense. Dalvin Cook healthy again. Kirk Cousins, who we talked about, I gave his stats blindly in the preseason. He's a top 5 quarterback right now.
Can you believe that I had to drop him in fantasy to pick up an emergency quarterback in Jameis Winston, and I was lucky enough to get him back. I thought I wasn't going to get my quarterback, but that's pretty bad if my 2 starting quarterbacks are Jameis and Kirk.
But it's not. Kurt's fine. He's fine.
So,
He's not going to go out there and do Dak numbers, but I think this is going to be a great game. I'm really excited about this game.
I read a stat that McCarthy just now is 11-2 against the spread coming off a bye.
He is. But he's actually like the number 1 coach since 2002 at coming off the bye win percentage. But I believe, I don't know the exact one for Minnesota's coach, but he's up there too. Why did I just forget his name?
Zimmer,
thank you. He's up there as well.
Blake, I think this game will be closer than you think.
I'm not saying it's not going to be
gonna be a
close.
blowout.
No. I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means. There's not very many games except for Titans versus Chiefs games that end up being blowouts.
Well, we knew that one was coming.
I mean,
obvious. That was obvious.
Everybody saw that coming.
I'll lead this one since I haven't started with one. Let you guys go after that. Minnesota's offense is good. Dalvin Cook is good. Kirk Cousins good. They've got good receivers. Thielen's like he's 25 out there again. And I just don't think this Dallas defense can continue what it does. They're good. They're just not as good as we think they are. I think Minnesota wins this game, 31-27. Even if they don't win, I am expecting hey, who has the ball last kind of game to win.
It's a high scoring game.
Blake, I'm going with the home team as well. The underdogs are 104-71 against the spread against the Cowboys since 2002. I just looked up.
It's a pretty old stat.
We are going to hear that Viking horn, a lot. I'm going 27-24 behind Dalvin Cook. Minnesota Vikings. Victory.
You just want Dalvin Cook to go off.
Yes, I do.
Well,
or Jefferson, or Cousins. I got them all.
Unfortunately, Bradley has roped Parker into the wrong pick again. This is going to be a Dallas victory. Just too many weapons here. I think it's going to be it's going to be a fun game to watch. It really is. And as far as Cowboys defense goes, until I see otherwise, I'm going to assume they're going to keep playing well. I think instead of 31-27 Minnesota, it's going to be 31-27 Cowboys.
All right. Underdog time, where we have to try to look at this lineup and somehow identify teams that will straight up win that aren't expected to. Since mine sounded like the worst, I'll go ahead and go. I'm going with a home team. I am actually going against, for some reason, the man, the GOAT, the only player in NFL history that has 600 or more touchdowns. I'm going against Tom Brady, and I am picking Jameis Winston and the New Orleans Saints to come marching in and somehow win against the Tampa Bay Bucks and send them down Bourbon Street with a loss.
I mean, are you trying to go 0-5? Is that what you're trying to do?
New Orleans.
Golly.
Kamara, UT's own, will run wild.
I can't comment on that because every bit of it's false. So.
Hey, you know what, though? It is all false. But Jameis, if anybody wants to win this game, it's going to be Jameis against his old team.
Jameis wants to beat anybody.
I forgot about old Jameis against his old team.
Yeah. Whatever, dude. Some crab legs out there, he'll probably win.
W's. I'm going to sound like a broken record on this one because I've done it a few times, but it's usually right. But one of the main reasons I'm going with this one is one word: revenge. Revenge for the Steelers after getting embarrassed by the Browns in the playoffs last year. Browns haven't looked great in the recent weeks. Steelers, surprisingly, have looked okay. But this is really just a automatic play for me because of Mike Tomlin. When he's catching points, if in this situation, he wins straight up a lot of the time. Against the spread, he is 28-7-1 when in this type of matchup. Steelers, straight up beat the Browns. I don't need the points.
Yeah, wasn't much left by the time I got to my dog pick. Not a lot of really good ones. I don't have a really strong feeling about this one, but I just figure at some point everyone's going to shut down Jalen Hurts and the Eagles at some point, right? I mean, because
they don't run the ball.
No.
I mean, unless he is the only running game.
Yeah, he hands it to himself. But I'm going with Detroit. I think they're going to sneak up and finally get one here against the Eagles. It might be their only one, but
the Pussycats.
I guess. I mean, this is a pool noodle game for sure. Like I said, I don't have a terribly strong feeling about this, but hey, I don't think they're going to go undefeated or without a win this year.
Detroit's going to win a game, right?
Yeah.
It's just picking which one are they going to win.
Yeah. I feel like they're playing for, they feel like they're playing together a little bit now,
They're absolutely playing for Dan Campbell. They could have beat the Rams.
Yeah.
They could have.
They probably should have.
What about that, man? If Matt Stafford would have lost against Jared Goff.
That would
These two believe in Stafford. I'm not buying.
Well, you won.
Not doing
Yeah, I know. You just continue to get it wrong down there.
Not buying it. Best bets. Let's see if I get this one wrong as well. Mine is I'm looking at the Monday night game, a team that just got rocked in here in Nashville, Tennessee. This is the classic red booty factor. Kansas City cannot lose anymore. No more. The New York Giants are coming in on Monday Night Footballs. Kansas City is -10. I'm going 50-17.
Woo!
A 50 burger.
They might.
Kansas City.
Wow. Okay.
That's a lot.
That is a very big margin there. Write it down. Go ahead.
I am going against your boy, Joey Football.
Joey.
Oh, no.
There are numerous reasons why I love this game. In fact, I think the Jets getting 10.5 points might just straight up win this game. I do think it's going to be close. I think it should be more like 3 or 4. The reason that this is trending to 10.5, because it opened at 1 and it's at 10.5. 86% of the bets are coming from the public on the Bengals.
Of course.
Bengals had a huge game last week, whipped people down, and everyone sees Mike White playing quarterback for the Jets other than Zach Wilson. And I say, who cares? Zach Wilson is awful. Literally the worst rated quarterback in the NFL. I don't even think it's a downgrade. I think it might be an upgrade. Mike White, that is the most generic name ever. Mike White came in last week, 1 for 1, touchdown. I just think that there's also a major
Show me more.
major letdown spot for the Bengals. 3rd straight road game for the Bengals. They just had their biggest win in decades and whipped some team down. On top of that, their next game is against the Browns. Like, this is the ultimate letdown.
This is absolutely what the same situation the Titans were in.
It is, and I had to find somebody else like this because I couldn't pick against the Titans in it. But it's just too many points. I mean, it's Jets 10.5. I would probably even put a little bit on the money line on this. It's a major letdown spot for the Bengals. I think the Jets cover.
I could definitely see that. That's a good one. It's really good. Well, I'm going to go ahead and correct Bradley down there at the end and let him know that old TB12 is going to go in the game against New Orleans, and they're just going to absolutely trounce the shit.
It is less than a touchdown, right?
Well, they're fucking wrong.
I mean, what is it?
Right
Tampa
now.
-5?
5.5.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to be a 28-10 victory.
Well, I mean, this isn't the hapless Bears. I mean, this isn't Justin Fields.
Yeah, you're right. It's interception Jameis.
Jameis has been managing the ball, though. He's been getting the ball out quick to Kamara.
Hey, the real Jameis is in there somewhere.
It doesn't have to show up this week.
Okay. Tom Brady doesn't have to not show up either. And he's been showing up for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, there's no doubt.
So if you think Jameis can keep up with Tom Brady, then I will take that bet.
This line, I don't know what this means. It's just interesting. It opened at 2.5 and it's at 5 now.
Why?
Casey Carey with 91% of the money's on the Bucks.
All is right now again.
Hey, we'll see in our reaction shows. Stay tuned.
Yeah, I know.
Bradley thinks I'm going 0-5.
I think Bradley's going 0-5 this week. I really do. I don't think he got one damn thing right.
I even picked against my team.
If that's what happens, can we clip this and put it in?
Yeah, we are absolutely clipping it. This is going. We might kick him off the show for a day.
Prove me wrong, Jaguars. I want to see you win on the West Coast before I write your name
before
down.
you die. Yeah.
Well, before I mean. Gee.
Oh, man. Well, hey, thanks for joining us today, guys, for our NFL Pick Show. Be sure to check us out on Twitter at DDS Sports Talk. Get the conversation started there. What do you think? Did Newberry just go 0-5? I think he might have. Guys, parting thoughts.
Go Titans. Be the team you are, not these old Titans.
Yep. I'm with you. Stick it to them this week.
My parting thought, Tua, keep your head up. I don't even think the Dolphins want you anymore.
Two-tone blue all the way. You guys be well.